I did it.
Okay.
Yep, we're good.
You're good.
Are we live? Mm-hmm. All right.
We are live.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Josh McDonald here alongside Pete Miller. Sorry, we're having some technical difficulties up here. It's homecoming night here at Andrews. Or goodness gracious,
Yeah.
I am all over the place tonight. We're at Teeters Field, not Andrews Gymnasium. My goodness, we're getting off to an awfully clunky start here. Josh McDonald, Pete Miller, Simon Miller on the camera. Teeters Field, not Andrews Gymnasium. As much as we love the friendly confines of the mini Kibbe Dome, it's homecoming night. We got the Kellogg Wildcats hosting the Moscow Bears in a kind of a throwback matchup, really. We've been playing the Bears the last few years, but this was a matchup that was a lot more common. I feel like in the 80s, 70s, 80s era, probably in the 60s, when all of these teams up here in the Panhandle really just kind of played each other all the time. Yeah. Wildcats come into the game, 2-2 record, wins over Orofino and Timberlake, losses to St. Mary's and Bonners Ferry. Meanwhile, the Bears come in here with I believe, a 4-1 record, Pete, with one loss, and that being to Lakeland last week. No, they are 4-2, Lakeland and Grangerville.
Yeah.
So, it's really kind of a, what are we going to see here tonight? I don't really know. The Wildcats are real banged up. That's kind of been the headline. We have our starting quarterback in Porter Lewis out with a concussion. We have our leading receiver, Drayden Taylor, out with a concussion. We have some of our linemen out with concussions. So if you're hearing a theme here, a lot of head trauma for the Wildcats right now. So the ball is in the hands of sophomore Cyrus Reed. We have seen Cyrus Reed under center a couple times this season, once in the win over Orofino, and again in the loss to Bonners Ferry. He has looked sharp. Some mental errors last week against a really, really good Bonners team, but he did toss the only touchdown in that game. He played really well in that fourth quarter relief duty against Orofino. I mean, that was a pretty low pressure situation, but that's where we're at right now. So this is really kind of this is the guy running out right now who I expect to be the head of the snake if the Wildcats want to be good tonight. I think Cyrus has to play well and take care of the ball, but if they want to be competitive here, the ball needs to be in Andrew Lewis's hands. That's their running back. He has been kind of a yard hog when he's gotten the ball the last few years. I mean, he's like a 5 yards per carry kid. I think his career average is 5 yards per carry. It's kind of surprising that he doesn't get the ball nearly as much as what you and I might think is appropriate. And as the guy who used to be pass it as many times as we can, you got me begging for them to run the ball. They're going to have to kill the clock. The theme of the Wildcats season thus far has been score a lot score kind of fast. I don't think scoring fast is going to be the ticket tonight. I think they need to be on offense more than they are on defense. They need to drain the clock. The more we keep the ball out of the Bears' hands, the better it's going to be. So, another big key to tonight's game is the return of junior lineman Luke Little. He was out last week with a concussion. So
that's going to be a welcome back Little tonight. Josh, one thing I wanted to point out, you mentioned how this is kind of a historical battle. And you mentioned the 60s and 70s. Well, in the 70s, it was kind of a flip-flop.
Yeah.
Because we were the well, actually, it isn't. Because Moscow has 27 dressed tonight. We have 22.
Okay.
Wildcats have 22 dressed. And so what that dynamic shows is that they are, as you were telling me, 5A school.
Yeah. They petitioned down.
Petitioned to play down, and yet that's still a bigger school.
Yeah.
And that's the way it was in the 70s.
Mm-hmm.
They were always bigger than us, and we had to find a way to beat them.
Yeah.
You mentioned Cyrus. Protect the ball. When I was coming up here, we agreed. Take care of the ball.
Yep.
And a lot of the burden tonight, even with the injuries, is on the offensive line.
Yeah.
Now, I know everybody listening says Miller always talks about the line. He talks about the offensive line in particular. But I think tonight, if they're going to run, those linemen have to be firing out, keeping their blocks.
Yeah.
Because that's what I noticed even against Orfino, letting those blocks be released early, and then the defender can pursue the play. So these guys, the offensive line, let's take a look at them.
Yep.
Let's watch them, and then we'll see what we can do on the ground.
Absolutely. So it looks like the Wildcats won the toss. They have deferred. They elected to kick to open the game. So we're going to see the Moscow Bear offense starting tonight for the Bears. Freshman quarterback number 2, Wyatt Cross, the freshman getting the start. Number 3, junior Colton Kendall. Number 5, senior Jericho Pike. Number 7, junior Keaton Frey. Number 11, sophomore Charles Vasquez. Number 32, junior Riley Cheney. Number 54, senior Riley Botraker. Number 56, senior Finney Neeham. Number 64, senior Paul Dixon. Number 72, sophomore Frankie Owen. Number 74, senior Jack Johnson. So that is a experienced line right there.
Yeah, you mentioned quite a few seniors, and I'm looking at the weights on those on the roster.
Yeah.
And several of them are up above 200 pounds.
Decent kick, decent return by the Bears, fielded out to the 30-yard line. Special teams has been kind of a point of contention for the Wildcats this year. Starting. Number 20, junior Owen Roach. Number 21, junior Talon White. Number 22, senior Chase Scribner. Number 45, senior Preston Grasscamp. Number 50, senior AJ Peak. Number 51, junior Luke Little. Number 52, sophomore John Brownfield. Number 53, sophomore Colton Duncan. And number 62, a freshman Robert Clark. So here's Cross out of the shotgun.
Freshman quarterback
throws a deep one and has his man. Open. Oh, goodness. Preston Grasscamp with the tackle, and what a way to open the game, Pete. That is good for what? 40-yard gain right there from 30 to 30. So not exactly the way the Wildcats wanted to start. As we did mention at the top of the broadcast, this is homecoming night for the Wildcats, so we will be with you for the homecoming ceremonies, including a tribute to the music of Ozzy Osbourne by the Kellogg High School Pep Band. Cross once again out of the shotgun, one man out, 2 running backs, handoff there, and good tackle right there. That's Chase Scribner.
Yeah, Chase scraped off and made the tackle on the back that was tiptoeing around a little bit in there, but we liked that. That was good read by the linebacker, right?
Yeah.
Is Chase
Chase is a
linebacker
senior.
tonight?
Yep,
Yeah.
he is linebacker. Wildcats with it looks like a little injury there. It was Ryder Kramer, the freshman, came running off. Looked like kind of a jarred his shoulder or something. Ryder Kramer, one that they have high hopes for. He's been a really valuable addition to this team this first year. Another inside handoff. Nice bounce back in. Force him back inside to the middle on the carry there for the Bears. That was Keaton Frey.
Okay, on that, the difference on that play, what Moscow did, they had a back leading up into the hole, and so they kind of sealed off the back Scribner this time. They sealed him off.
Yeah.
So, let's see what the line can do here. See if we can get some penetration and get off of those blocks.
Yeah. Oh, and the Bears draw the Wildcats offsides on.
Hard count.
Looks like. Oh, I thought it was 3rd and short there. It looks like they had given them the first down. So it's going to be 1st and 5 now from the 15-yard line. The Bears really just moving the ball right up on the yard markers there. Not really playing in between the lines. Oh, we're going to get a false start. Ooh.
Okay.
Like that if you're a Wildcat fan. So 1st and 15.
Let's see what Little can do here in the line. Watch him, folks. Let's see if he's been off a week.
Cross
He's
again.
getting some penetration there.
Touched as he threw it. Overthrow. Cyrus Reed in coverage. And
Cyrus was on the coverage there, but what he'll learn is that instead of following, you can take that pattern away.
yeah.
Because I think he has the speed to keep up with that kid. I don't know how they completed that first pass. They just ran by
Yeah.
our DBs. But so that's good.
And that could have been just a simple reflection of what they saw in film. Maybe they didn't expect to see him open up with a big toss like that. Bears lining up with 3 out to the right. Shotgun for Cross. 1 to the left. Felt like another false start there. Great pitch and catch. That was Keaton Frey again, right over the middle, but I don't know if we got a replay of that. Clock's running. Check out the replay here.
Okay, you can see this.
Oh,
this guy just hits a crease route.
Yeah, we didn't capture the replay there, but I mean, from our vantage point, it looked like 3 receivers took off before the ball was snapped. Empty, nope, not an empty set. 4 receiver set, shotgun still inside the 10-yard line here. Cross hands it off. Wildcats with excellent penetration there. That's going to be a 2-yard loss for the Bears.
Okay, let's see. What's Kellogg doing there on the front line? They got good penetration. 4 guys were on that back. That's a
Yeah, and you have AJ Peak right there finishing it off. Looks like Talon White is in there along with Maddox Allen, another senior. Bears sticking with the shotgun here. They're going to fire. They have a slant right over the middle. Wide open was Charles Vasquez.
Okay, so let's see where that DB was lined up. I think he was head up him. He's got to be inside. He's got to be inside shoulder.
Inside shoulder.
Yeah.
And especially if you're playing kind of a slower. And that's the junior Owen Roach. He's playing Drayden's spot tonight. So that is
It was just it was a move.
And Owen new to the game of football. Bears going to go for 2 here in kind of a Wildcat formation, and they're going to punch it in. So 8-0. Scoreboard getting a little haywire. I promise you the score is not 30-0. 8 minutes with 41 seconds left in the first quarter.
That stresses me out.
That looks That looks just brutal. We're getting that fixed right now. There it is.
That scoreboard looks great on the screen.
Oh my gosh,
Simon.
the score bug.
That is beautiful.
And shout out, we talked about this and our setup. We have, Simon, who has just poured his guts into this project. And a project that really we owe a lot of gratitude towards our sponsors who you're seeing scrolling there at the bottom. But, a big shout out to one of our favorites, Mr. Rick Luna and NASCO. We got to talk to Rick briefly throughout the week, where we got to see some really exciting news about his sons, Ripley and Colby, who have been key to, I'm not sure if you've been following college football, but the Miami Hurricanes currently the number 3 team in the country. They called Ripley and Colby Luna their secret weapons.
We're painfully aware.
They are. They has 3 Notre Dame guys in the booth right now. We are aware of what they bring to the table. I guess Ripley and Colby have been just absolutely dominating the practice squad reps, going in and emulating the opposing team. Here comes Preston Grasscamp on the return. He's going to get it out to about the 21, 22-yard line. So we're going to see this Wildcat offense for the first time. And, I don't want to – I'm not saying hold your breath, but this is going to be – this is a big drive. This first opening possession, you have Cyrus Reed starting the game at quarterback, homecoming we can't get a crowd shot here, but the stands are packed. You got Talon White in the backfield. There's Reed, carry to White. Way to get right up there.
See, there's some blocking.
There was blocking, and watch it. It was a one move. It didn't need to be any more than that. Pick up a 4. You can get 4 yards per carry.
Yeah.
You're gonna be okay.
That was a good play. Good start. Planted his foot and went north.
Yeah. There wasn't multiple moves. It was one move. Let's see what they have dialed up on second down. They're out of the shotgun, 4 receivers set. Fires over the middle. Ooh. Hit his man right in the hands. That was Preston Grasscamp there. And a little extracurricular activity after the play was over. It looked like Vasquez gave him a little what for shove back to the ground. Wildcats now in a 3rd and 6 situation here from the 24-yard line. 3 receivers set for the Wildcats. White still in the backfield. Bears showing pressure. Option out to White. White fumbles the ball. Oh, no. That's not on Cyrus. Not on Cyrus at all. We'll cue that replay up there. Excellent shot by Simon. Let's check this out. Cyrus did what he needed to do. Rolled out, really kind of embraced the contact, and as it came, he pitched it out to Talon White, hit White in the hands. And if you're the running back, we really can't afford for you to drop that ball there. Bears take over at the 20. Here's Cross again. Has a man right over the middle. And beat writer Kramer. Wildcats find themselves down 14-0 here. Just 4 minutes and 10 seconds into the ball game. Tough break for the Wildcats there. Our officials for tonight's game, we've got a pretty solid crew, including Paul Manzardo. And if that name sounds familiar, it's probably because you've been watching I think it's the American League Wild Card Series. Kyle Manzardo plays for the Cleveland Guardians, who they were eliminated in 3 games there. That looked awfully shaky there. Wildcats stand them up. Hold them at 14-0, so that's a little, you take the small victories there.
That is a small victory. That's good. Here's the deal, Josh, is that they're gonna pick those DBs apart.
Yeah.
And so, I think Kellogg. I don't think they're running You got to go zone. You
Yeah.
got to go zone. I can't quite pick up exactly if they're switching off and on,
Right.
or if I don't think they're playing man to man. I don't think they
Yeah.
can.
So along with Manzardo, we've got Cole Turnbull, Breyer Adona, Taggart Giles, and Connor Petticolas as our officials for tonight's game. Big fan of Paul Manzardo, one of the best human beings in North Idaho. Beyond just what he does in the community, I mean, he's official in both football, basketball. I believe he coached Lake City to a state championship in baseball a few years ago. He taught at NIC for a stretch. I'm actually one of his students from NIC. So we all love Paul. Wildcats have to adapt here. They have to figure it out. And it's tough looking down on the sideline. Porter and Drayden both playing DB for the Wildcats, and you're seeing what happens when they're not in the game. That's also, I mean, they've already kind of shouldered the loss of their leading receiver from last year, Radley McDonald. Good return by Grasscamp there. Uses the block from Kramer to get a couple extra. Wildcats cannot afford another turnover here. So this is an injury-riddled team. I mean, we were looking down there. You see, I think at least 5 kids who are wearing sweatshirts, not helmets. And that is bad news for these Wildcats. First drive, great first run. Then Cyrus hits a guy in the hands, couldn't catch it, and then the fumble. Another inside handoff, this time White. Going to pick up about 2 on the carry.
Well, I think you keep going. You keep going at it like that.
Yeah.
When they fumbled that option pitch, it was so reminiscent of the Wildcats back in 1973. We just put the veer offense in, and we had a heck of a time with the pitch.
Here's White again. He's going to turn the corner, and he gets popped, but I think he got enough for the first down. So there's some momentum for these Wildcats. They're moving the sticks.
That's a good run. Get the ball in the outside arm and
just know the hit's coming.
Yeah.
You see him just
good cut.
Popped right there at the end of that replay. Just under 7 minutes to go here in this first quarter. Fake the handoff. Oh! Looking at Owen Roach, who I don't think Roach was quite ready to. That's one of those focus catches where you know the hit's coming. It's coming fast. You're probably catching and getting hit. Like, there's really not a ton to be excited about what's about to happen to you. And that's, I mean, I don't know that he's caught that pass. I don't know that he's been thrown that pass prior to that moment right there. So, 2nd and 10, pitch outside to White. We've got a flag on the play. I'm going to guess we've got some holding here. Waiting for the call. Holding. Offense is going to back him up. So 2nd and 20 now for the Wildcats. I don't know if we got a number.
I don't think it had much to do with the play, honestly.
And, you talked about the veer. And I guess in a world where you're down your 2 best offensive players, hand off to White again on 2nd and long. He's going to get about 5, maybe 6. It's hard to adjust what you've done for the whole season, and doing it in a week's time seems like, you're talking the impossible. But a little bit of power eye maybe go one or two receivers, but you stack that line because at this juncture, there's guys on the field right now that I'm not even entirely sure have had targets this season. Bobbled the snap. Cyrus going to go over the top. And there's a lot of holding there. That felt like it could have been an easy defensive holding call. Looks like Coach Dan Davidian and Tim Kimberling are down there on the sideline just begging for it. Watch as Grasscamp tries to turn here. That is a hold. From a punting perspective now, this is also another spot where loss is going to be felt. Drayden Taylor is the normal punter. He's replaced, it looks like, by Andrew Lewis. We're talking about a foot height difference here. We have a false start or an offsides. Offsides would be optimal. We did get an offside, so that's going to make it 4th and 9. I'm assuming that's probably not going to change the play call. Wildcats probably would have liked to keep that one just on the sense of it was a clean snapping catch. Lewis gets the snap, steps into it, gets the kick off. Good kick by Lewis, flips the field, and the Wildcats are going to down the ball at the 25. So that's a
good turnaround.
That wasn't a bad possession for the Wildcats here. Not a bad possession for the Wildcats at all. It would have been nice to see him go for a few more yards. But now this defense has to prove that it can get a stop. You talked about maybe seeing some zone coverage here.
Well, I mean, you have to go zone because the athleticism of Moscow versus what's on the field.
And it looks like they're sticking to their man unless it's disguised. Cover 2. Into the flat there. Ooh. And the tackle looks like you get forced out of bounds. It's AJ Peak there. And that got a little aggressive there at the end between Peak and Colton Kendall. But I think you're right. I just don't know if we're going to see the Wildcats be able to stop this passing attack if they stick in this man series here. But again, at this level, when you're down some of your best players, do you have time to throw in something new? You hope that.
Well, most of it has to do with schemes and how they're going to.
Missed tackle there by Roach. Roach tried to break down there, and
here's what's tough. You have to get some pressure on the quarterback and cover, and usually I think defensive coordinators are juggling that. And and you mentioned disguising. Yeah. So make it look man-to-man and go zone on it, vice versa.
Yeah.
But you got to get some pressure on from the defensive line.
Yeah. Another slant. Oh, and Andrew Lewis had an interception if he wanted it. And we don't talk about this enough, but just looking at these big giants in the white jerseys trotting back to the line.
That's good reaction.
And Andrew, I think he was ready to try and make a tackle, not trying to pick that off. But the size comparison here, I mean, we have defensive ends compared to the guys they have there at the guard position. Another handoff right through the line.
Okay.
And looks like a 6-yard carry there for the Bears.
So Maddox made the tackle. Maddox was the defensive end on the left side. So watch him pursue in the replay. Come read, nothing outside, and he came back in.
Finds the gap, gets back into the play.
Yeah.
Oh, AJ Peak. I don't know if we had a false start there. No, looks like offsides. So that's going to give the Bears a free first down.
Okay, well, let me just say one thing about that. At least they're getting off, right?
Yeah. Yep.
They're not sitting there. So we know that the Kellogg line, they're getting off. They want to make contact. They want to get off the block and find the ball. So the penalty's negative, but them coming off, at least because they are smaller, they got to get off, right?
Yep.
Okay.
The only way to beat size is with some speed. Oh, and you got to finish tackles.
Missed tackles.
Oh, 4 of them right there.
Okay. It's okay. Fundamentals, right,
Yep.
guys? Fundamentals.
Carry there by Vasquez.
So,
And just several broken tackles there. And, you don't see A.J. Peak. You don't see A.J. Peak grab a hold of anybody and let go very often. So, tough break for the Wildcats there, who had an opportunity to put the Bears in kind of a long down situation.
okay, they've got split backs with the shotgun.
Pitch to
Double
them,
pass.
to the receiver there.
And that is,
Tackle
that's
there.
a tough thing to read right there.
You had Roach and Andrew Lewis there on the tackle.
So, folks, if you'll notice, that's a pitch, but it's a shovel pass, so it is a pass. The advantage is if you drop the ball, it's not a fumble. So it's inside the line, it's inside the box, but they ran that to perfection. They had the blocking, and they got outside on it. The only way you can stop a shovel pass is to have penetration.
Yep. This split back out of the shotgun is giving the Wildcats fits right now. Cross going to drop back. A little bit of contact. Ball can't be brought in there. Looking to see what number that was. Can't see with the drop there. I think it was 16. It'd be George Stott. 2nd and 10 for the Bears from the 14-yard line. Wildcats' first home game since, I believe, an early, might have even been a late August game. I cannot remember.
It was the first game. It was Orfino.
They didn't have a 0-week game. Oh, and there's a little penetration for you.
Very good. Yeah.
Is that Chase Scribner? Yep, that's Scrib on the tackle. But yeah, the Wildcats haven't played here at Teeters in over a month.
Yeah, see how he gets off the block?
Yep.
He got off the block with 64. Isn't that great, guys?
That's Chase Scribner right there.
And Scrib has been kind of a journeyman player for these Wildcats. I don't know that he's ever really had a dedicated spot. He's just been a plug-and-play guy all over the place and really found his niche. They've got Roach now. Look at the way they have Roach positioned here down as DB.
Well, he's taking away that inside slant.
He's trying to force him to the outside here.
Everybody has an inside shoulder.
Cross going to fire over hits his man, and Cross is going to get in for the score. Wildcats had that well defended. They just didn't get their heads turned around. We'll check it out on the replay here. So, I mean, well defended. We're just not seeing the ball. I mean, quite frankly, it's just, when you don't see the ball and you give up the catch, you better make the tackle. And the Wildcats are going to find themselves guilty of both crimes, not seeing the ball and not finishing the play there. Because I thought it was well covered. You got to get your hands up. You got to do the things.
I don't know. I've heard that in current coaching for defensive backs, because there's so much back shoulder and underthrows and things like that, and I don't know if it comes to the high school level or not, but they're not finding the ball.
Right.
They're playing the receiver more. And when I played, you found the ball.
Yeah.
And
No one can score without the ball, right? You've got to know where the ball is at all times, and right there they just lost it. I want to say that was that number 11 for the Wildcats there. I think that was Cyrus who lost track of where the ball was. And again, this is what happens when you find yourself in a spot. I mean, when you're down starters and your second string is playing, there's a really good chance your second string is playing every single rep. You don't even have the luxury of really getting a ton of subs.
Good point.
So the opportunity to, give a Drayden a break and then put him back in and then coach the guy who filled in for that play or two plays, they don't have that right now. They're having to coach him up, between kickoffs. If there hasn't been a timeout yet, Wildcats find themselves trailing 20-0 here in the first quarter.
Simon, do we have anybody on the chat?
Well, I just answered one.
Oh, okay. I just wondered.
Is the chat active and alive?
Yes.
Claudia.
We're going to get are we getting a timeout here? Looks like Moscow taking a timeout. Wildcats probably want to get their hand squad ready. Wildcats, after this, they're going to be on the road again next week. They're going to travel to Anaconda, Montana for a matchup with, I don't even know what Anaconda's mascot is, but if it's not the Snakes.
Copperheads.
Really?
Yeah.
The Anaconda Copperheads.
It only makes sense. Come on, guys. Anaconda. It's a smelting town.
They are two different types of snake. One poisonous and one not poisonous. That's certainly a...
I did not know they were going over there.
Yeah, and getting those games, we've talked about that a few times. I don't know if we've talked about it on the broadcast, but I know Simon and I have chatted. Getting those games against Montana is kind of a challenge. You have to schedule the game, but you have to get permission from the Montana High School Athletic Association. Like, you have to go through some proper channels to get those approved. You can't just have a game like where ADs just communicate with one another in Idaho. It's a little more formal.
Mm-hmm.
So out of the timeout, that was an unusual timeout there for the Bears.
I got to play in Missoula, Montana.
Ooh.
Yeah, we played Hellgate.
Oh, yeah. Oh, great. Oh, no.
We dropped it.
And just a lack of awareness there. Grasscamp with the excellent spin, and then he got stuck, and the ball just dropped.
That's a good effort, and we love to see it. But that's what happens.
Dang.
I don't like it, but
you don't like it, but you respect it?
Way.
And that is a devastator for the Wildcats, who just cannot get themselves off the field right now.
Well, let's see what this D-line can do. I noticed, I don't know if you noticed, Josh, that the defensive coordinator has made some adjustment on the lineup of the defensive backs.
Yeah.
See if you can pick up on it. They are playing off that inside shoulder because they just got killed on a couple of those slants.
Free run there. Oh, and we're going to get a defensive holding there on Preston Grasscamp. Down the road.
There were two receivers in the same zone there.
It's the hold right there.
And
easy call for the official.
Okay, once again, that we hate that, but that could have been a score.
Yeah.
Okay, he had two receivers in his zone. He was out there by himself. So we don't like it, but I guess it happens that way.
Meanwhile, down in Silverton, the Wallace Miners are currently taking on the top 5 ranked Genesee Bulldogs. Second quarter, Genesee on top of Wallace 8-6. So that's that one. And for a Wallace team that's undefeated, they have I felt, been disrespected in the rankings. Inside handoff here, a couple missed tackles. Wildcats just struggling defensively, and this is really starting to feel eerily similar to what we saw last week in Bonners Ferry. Wildcats finished that. I mean, 20-0. If they can keep them out of the end zone right now, would feel really good because last week it was 35-0 at the end of one. But the Wildcats just cannot get a stop right now, it feels like.
Well, the backer came off of the block. So the blocker got to the backer in the second level. He came off, but the guy still got 6 yards. Or approximately.
3 receivers set out to the left, single coverage to the right. Inside handoff. This time the Wildcats are a little more ready for it. I think they stop them right at the line of scrimmage. Chase Scribner in there on the tackle, along with Colton Duncan. And it looks like the Bears will let this one tick out and go to the second quarter. So at the end of one, your Wildcats trailing the Moscow Bears 20-0 here on homecoming. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to be back with the second quarter. Thanks for watching Wildcats Live. Pass there from Cross.
I got you.
We're back.
We are back.
Sorry about that, folks. Wildcats Live here. Pete Miller, Josh McDonald, Simon Miller running the camera. Wildcats down 20-0 here to start the second quarter. And Moscow facing its first fourth down of the game. This would be a big one for the Wildcats to get a stop here.
Huge. It'd be huge.
This is kind of a,
Okay,
you get a stop here, you get the ball.
Two tight ends, they got two backs, one split.
Cross gonna
It's
keep
a
it.
Quarterback,
We've got a hold though. That's coming back.
and that's good D. Nice.
I think they might have stopped them. If they stop them, you decline the penalty, right?
They stopped that. That's great. Look at he has lead blockers out of the backfield.
Yep, there's the flag. And Wildcats decline the penalty. So first down Cats. And
hey,
maybe that gives the Wildcats a little bit of momentum. That's what we need to see. That's the toughness that defensively we just haven't seen. We've seen it in some spurts. You know, I was in that game in Spirit Lake, or I was at that game in Spirit Lake when the Wildcats, gave up 48 points, but in overtime had a stand inside the 5-yard line. Right there, though, Wildcats not getting any blocking. Talon White just trying to get any space. I don't know if he even got back to the line of scrimmage.
Well, I think that was a run blitz there. They came hard, They've got 4 guys with hands in the ground. The backers see the run.
This,
yes.
and with the different personnel and the injuries, we're seeing the Wildcats run the ball more. But for the Wildcats, they really have kind of put themselves, they did lose about 2 yards on that. The Wildcats have kind of made themselves a little one-dimensional here. Starting every drive, run. Cyrus Reed scrambling. We're going to get a flag. Cyrus gets rid of it before taking the hit in the end zone, but this one's going to back up. We've got a hold coming in. As Cyrus is running for his life here. You're going to see it on the back side. It's just away from the play.
Was it on the backer?
Yeah, looks like it was might have been on AJ
Well, I know
Peak.
he would might have had to held him.
So, and that's one of those ones that you just get frustrated because it looks like maybe it wouldn't have affected the play. I don't know what the Wildcats would have gotten out of that, but now the Cats find themselves in looks like a 3rd and long situation here. 3rd and 12. Do we have we get an offsides there? It looks like the Wildcats drew them offsides, so they get some yards back. So savvy move to get some free ones. Wildcats going with more of a tight formation here. Cyrus Reed going to pitch it out. That's Andrew Lewis, I think, on the grab. He's going to get taken down in that awful Oakland Raiders dirt patch. The old, Candlestick Park, when they would play there in the dirt. And there's that just little section of dirt. I always thought it was such an abomination on TV. Great catch there, a little rollout. Has the throw kind of across his body. 3rd. I think our score bug is saying we have a 4th and 6 on the screen, but the down marker says 3rd.
It's about 3rd and 6.
So slant over the middle, and that one Grasscamp just couldn't get there, and that one felt like one where Cyrus just kind of threw where he expected a guy to be. And in these situations, I think you really, really, really have to. You might need to have something a little more exotic dialed up than a quick slant there. That one might have been better suited for maybe a wide receiver screen or something where the pass is easy and we're getting the blocking upfield. Lewis now back to punt. Gets the punt off, and it's a good kick. It's going to go out of bounds. Looks like right about the 39-yard line. Looking to see where they spot it out. 38-yard line, perhaps.
So about 35 yards. That's a tough situation. Man, I hated punting out of my own end.
Oh, yeah. Out of the end zone, it's tough. And, we talk about the difference in punters. Drayden is 6'3" with probably a near 6'10" foot wingspan. So he can get these punts and he can catch any snap, and he doesn't need a ton of steps to get that ton of leverage into it. Shout out Andrew Lewis for playing the backup punter here and getting some kicks.
So you're prejudicing on short kickers?
Absolutely.
Oh man.
Absolutely.
I don't know about that.
Oh, that's a false start. That's got to be a false start. When
short kickers can get the ball away quicker, partner.
I think in some circumstances, yes. But if you've seen Drayden, we didn't see Drayden punt in that Orfino game. I've gotten to see Drayden punt a little bit. He's a one-step punt guy, and his legs, everything is so long. He gets the ball off real quick, and his punts are usually, he's right in that 35 to 40-yard mark, and they're high, so they're really tough to kind of do anything with. But shout out to the Wildcats for, getting it off, flipping the field a little bit, and we're going to get another hold, I think. And this one feels like it's kind of devolving into a little bit of a load of laundry, you know?
I like that deep play. Good tackle, good wrap up.
Oh, we've got
Yeah.
another hold. It's first and I-90 for the Bears.
Now you just got to seal up those inside patterns and get some pressure on the quarterback.
Yeah, now this is the time where you can play under a little bit. You don't have to get right up tight. Just don't let them beat you over the top here. There's the throw out into the flat. Oh, finish the tackle, fellas.
Yeah, I like that. That's good.
And that was similar. That was a similar play as what I was talking about for the Wildcats on that last
Look
series.
at the read on the outside. Who's 21?
That's Talon White.
See how he came up and took on that blocker?
Yep.
And kept it inside.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Forced it back in so that it couldn't turn into more than what it was. But that's the play that I was talking about for the Wildcats on that last series that I think I would have liked to see. Instead of maybe the quick slant, fire one out into the flats and let Talon White or Andrew Lewis or somebody use some elusiveness and try to, instead of trying to throw it through all these trees. Moscow's just so big. 2nd and 22, screen pass, and oh dear, Vasquez
Got a lot of grain.
he's gonna house that one.
Yeah, he's getting held. Look at that. That's holding.
Yeah,
Look, he didn't even call it.
that was a rough miss there, right in front of the official.
He tackled him.
It was pretty blatant. Yeah, I don't know. There's not a lot you can. There's not a lot you can say about that one right there. But tough break for the Wildcats, who had played some of their better defense of the game, only to give up a 55-yard screen. Point is up and good, making it 27-0 here. And so now if you're Coach Davidian, you've got to figure out something to inspire your guys a little bit. They've got to feel like they're playing for something right now. I mean, it's homecoming. In our heads, it's, you know, you're in front of your home crowd. You haven't been here in a minute. Why not? Like, what's more to play for? But in the brain of a teenager, when you're going, you know, I don't have Porter out there to extend plays and toss the ball the way I want it to. When I don't have Drayden out there, what am I gonna do? It's tough, you know. So
You gotta win quarters. You gotta win periods of time, and you gotta be prepared for the inevitable when you don't have your guys in the big spots. You gotta win plays.
Kyle Van Fleet.
Kyle Van Vliet's a renaissance
Yes.
who playing college football in Missouri. I can't remember the name of the school, but shout out Kyle.
William Woods University.
There you go. A couple years being an all-leaguer for the Wildcats. Big part of the last couple years, the offensive and defensive line. Ooh. And Wildcats, I think, wanting a face mask there. I don't know if it was a face mask. I think he just got him across the chest as he flew by, and it just spun around a la what you normally see in a face masking penalty. Wildcats really starting to feel like, I mean, they get the ball to start the second half, but they got to get points on the board. Like, let's figure it out. Let's do what we can. We got to have something, maybe something yucky in our playbook that just no one's ready for. 3 out to the right Andrew Lewis catches. Man, way to, ooh. That's an easy call right there. Lewis already out of bounds and takes a helmet-to-helmet shot 5 yards afterwards. And the official is just looking at Coach Davidian, and it feels like a really easy call.
I don't think that official has a flag.
I mean, the whistle blows. He takes a couple more steps and then just gets drilled. And Coach Davidian absolutely right to be incensed in that. That's not great.
A couple of non-calls there that aren't very impressive.
2nd and 8, and a pass almost picked off. But when, and that's what we talked about. When that stuff starts to pile up and you're not scoring, we're going to get a personal foul here. Looks like Cyrus must have gotten hit late after the throw here. Late hit. I don't know if we caught the replay, but that's tough break for the Bears. Good news for the Wildcats here.
Okay, this is the play before.
Oh, yeah, that's the play before. We did not catch the replay on that last one. Wildcats get an automatic first down there. They're out to about the 36-yard line. And they need to capitalize here. Hand off to White. White just no blocking there. And there's a flag in the backfield, but I don't know what that flag was. It would be awfully challenging to throw a holding flag when it doesn't look like the Wildcats really got any sort of hands on anybody there. And it's a hold. I don't know who the hold is on though. We'll take a look here. See if did we get anything on that? Did you see anything on that, Pete?
Maybe little. See how he's to the side.
Oh.
And back. But he didn't grab his jersey.
That's a crazy call in this situation.
I don't know. These guys,
Just under 8 minutes left. Wildcats now 27-0. Wildcats have thrown some different stuff here in this one, but it's going to have to be something big over the top. Got him. There's a free 5. So after the hold, it's going to be 2nd and 16, it looks like. Oh, no, 2nd and 15. I apologize. And we're going to get another timeout here by the Bears. Bears take one. And it's been an ugly last, I'd say, 10 minutes of play for both teams. A lot of penalties. And then some really oddly obvious ones that weren't called. When you're seeing some of these holds that are getting thrown behind the play, and does that, just because it's behind the play, does it mean it didn't happen? Absolutely not. I won't die on that hill. But if you're going to call a hold that's 15 yards behind a play, it's going in the other direction, how are you not going to call the hold there on that screen pass that the Bears just scored on when it's right in front of you? And it is in the middle of the play.
The guy actually tackled him.
How are you not going to throw the penalty on the late hit there? The unnecessary roughness after Andrew Lewis is blown dead out of bounds and 5 yards later just gets tagged. We don't often go to this level of frustration with the officials, but this first half has not been something that, if I was the commissioner watching this one, this would not be the one where I'd be like, man, this is my ace squad right now. This has been really sloppy. Pitch out to White. White's going to get some blocks.
Good run there.
Drops his head there at the end to pick up a few extra.
Good, tough run.
That's a 9-yard gain for the Wildcats. That might be their biggest play of the evening. Second. We can bring up a 2nd and 8 now for the Wildcats. 2nd and 7.
split to the right.
Good snap, good hold. Ooh, good. Clean catch. He got it out of his hands, and this is where that experience, we talked about it in week 1, and I had said, outside of Drayden, we have 3 guys playing wide receiver that had not played wide receiver before. Yeah. Yes, we are in game 5, but this is the first game where Preston Grasscamp, Chase Scribner, and Andrew Lewis have been your primaries. Drayden Taylor's not out there to go up and get jump balls, and you know, those guys are excellent, you know, deep route runners. They're you know, this is the first time. Tip pass. Oh, I would have liked Cyrus to keep that one. What do you think, Pete? On the rollout there, I don't know if Simon caught the replay there. Let's check it out.
He had some room.
I don't think we got it. That's okay. Cyrus had the ability there. I think he could have probably turned that into something. And, you know, are we in the spot now? And we're going to punt the ball away, it looks like. But, dang. Wildcats find themselves in a spot here. They don't even have, I think, really the ability. Oh, there's a high one. Lewis going to get the kickoff. It's going to go, and, we're going to get a penalty here.
Unnecessary.
And I think the Wildcats are going to, and I think the coaches just got one now.
The sideline got one.
They're going to offset. Are we going to replay that down?
Right there.
It's an easy call, but I think the sideline is going to pick up a flag. And, you know, if this is the time where you finally throw it, shame on you if you're this sideline guy, because we got a hold.
I think it's unsportsmanlike conduct. Sideline
We got
warning.
a sideline warning. So where it's spotted, and, you know, I don't like it, Pete. I'm starting to think this might reach some levels of frustration, especially with the score being what it is. We might be in for a little bit of a bumpy final 28 minutes of football. But we've got sideline warnings now when there's no guarantee that flag was going to get thrown based off of what we've seen throughout this contest. And I understand they miss calls. Nobody's perfect. We don't want to move to some sort of digital robot ref that gets everything right all the time. But, man, you think you want them at least consistent, right? And I feel like we have not had consistency here today. Over the top and right there, that middle linebacker, if you're not going to rush AJ, I think you just need to drop back into some coverage a little bit, because staying home like that really puts you in a spot. The middle is just wide open on almost all of these midfield they're not deep crossing routes. They're not quick slants. They're shallow, but there's just nothing in the middle. There's one. Oh, Talon White on the chase down tackle. Big gain there.
Got behind him, obviously.
That's Vasquez. Vasquez has put together a really nice first half for the Bears here. Talon White just, again, we've got guys playing in spots where they're just a half step slower when you're a half step slower off the line, you're going to be 3-4 steps behind by the time the play comes to an end, and that's what we're seeing here. We just have some guys that are playing in spots where, and I honestly believe that 2 weeks ago, the Wildcats that played Timberlake make this a much more interesting game. This is a much more interesting game if we come into it at full strength.
Well, just more bodies.
Yeah.
I mean, And what'd you say, Josh? 5?
Yeah. There's a quick
There's some
slant.
good D.
There's good defense. Way to
Yeah.
knock it out or at least break it up.
So, I mean,
That's two now that have been popped in the air, though, where the Wildcats are, have a guy kind of in the vicinity where if you're watching the ball, I mean, here it comes across, popped up, and, we have guys just kind of chasing nothing there in the flat. You see the ball going that way, you better be going that way to be a part of the end of that play. And so I know momentum's a tough thing, and these football players don't have nearly the lateral speed that Simon and I highlight every night when we call a Wildcat lady volleyball match. But you see the ball moving, you better start moving towards the ball and not running away from it. And we're going to get a delay a game on the Bears. You don't see a ton of those in high school football. That's kind of a interesting one there.
So so Sam Drake was in at quarterback for the play before that last one. And then
there's another quick slant. Wildcats whiff on the initial coverage and are able to stop it short of the first down. Well, we capture a replay here while they set up. Wildcats in position to make a play here. It's just not happening. 3rd and 5. This is where the Wildcats had their stand on that last series. If they could do that again, that would be excellent. But we're asking a lot for, 11, 12 guys that have been on the field the whole game at this juncture. Another quick. Oh, way to bat it down. Right there. Number 70 on the bat down there for the Wildcats. Aiden Flynn. And that we like to see. That is heads-up play right there. This is eerily reminiscent of what we saw on Sunday with guys like Dexter Lawrence and TJ Watt rushing the quarterback and having the wherewithal to know I'm not going to get the sack, but let me get my hands up here. So 4th and 5, and the Wildcats have to be disciplined here. Do not give up a first down on a cheesy offsides call here.
Field goal.
Oh, they're going to line up for the old field goal try. Ooh, holds bobbled, and got her. It's going to make it a tidy 30-0 there. It was 16 on the kick. It's George Stott, senior. So Wildcats just under 5 minutes left, have another opportunity to put some points on the board before the half. But, man, I'm looking out here and I'm seeing a lot of body language I don't love, Pete. And bad body language means bad attitudes, and it's hard to have a good one when you're in this spot, but there's still 27 minutes of football to be played.
Well, they've made 2 stands down here.
Yeah.
2 in a row.
Yep.
Didn't give up touchdowns when they were in the red zone. Okay, so, I mean,
there's positives. There's positives. It's not, the situation is not as dire as it may feel, and the rate the Wildcats score, 3 touchdowns and 2-point conversions is not far-fetched from what we've seen this year. The problem is we've either seen them score a lot or very little. It hasn't been consistent. Great kick there by the Bears. Looks like Ryder Kramer fielding the ball. Keep that ball tucked away, kid. He's going to get out to the 27, 26 maybe. Ryder Kramer is a freshman. He's a heck of an athlete. Good kid. I got to meet him last spring. I coached an 8th grade basketball tournament about a month after my season ended. And Ryder is a 6'1" freshman. First week of basketball. He had never played before. First week, breaks his femur, which is incredible. When people talk about breaking their leg, it's rarely the femur. It's usually the bottom part. You're breaking below the knee.
Yeah.
This kid broke above the knee. He was inside handoff here. Looks like we're going to get nothing on that one.
Okay.
But Ryder showed up, made an impact. Kid is an absolute He's a menace on the offensive glass. Really, really enjoyed coaching him. He's a quiet, intense kind of kid. He doesn't say a lot, but he plays hard. So nice to see. Down the road in our neighbor, the Wallace Miners, they find themselves down 8, 14-6 at halftime. They're going through their homecoming stuff right now. We'll keep those updates kind of coming. Quick slant here, and I'm not sure if that was supposed to be to Scribner or Grasscamp. Wildcats in a 3rd and 10.
Yeah. He's releasing the ball quickly, and which I think you have to do against this defense.
This is a big defensive front for the Bears. And on 3rd and 10, here we are spread out again. Cyrus going to roll out. He'll tuck it away and just gets smoked. Not a lot of help in the blocking department. Chase Scribner tried to make something happen, but there was just nothing to be done. And that's where the dynamic running of Porter Lewis is sorely missed. Porter Lewis right there gets to the 23-24, and his hips are open. He's looking up the field. He's making a move to try to bounce back to the inside. Cyrus, not quite that level of runner yet. Ooh, line drive punt by Lewis. Ooh! Oh no! Wildcats with an opportunity. Had an opportunity. Vasquez muffed the grounder.
That was a little
Vasquez
excitement.
must not play second base, because that was dangerous. Wildcats probably would like to get that punt coverage back. So 3:20 left, 30-0 Moscow here. Wildcats have shifted to what looks like, oh, maybe not. I thought they were, the way Kramer was creeping up there, I thought we were in some sort of maybe cover one situation. It looks like we've got some people wanting to talk about the state of our field. There's a handoff there. That's Stott on the carry. My goodness. Stott lays just an absolute boom on Talon. Stott is a giant kid, too. Number 16, he's a senior. He's 6'3" and 190 pounds, and he absolutely ran like it right there. Talon White squared up thinking he was going to bring down a running back, and running back kind of said, "Welcome to the show." This is an experienced Moscow team, though. We talked about this. This is a team that won the IML a year ago, graduated some studs.
Got several
But
seniors
yeah,
in
they've
the
got a lot of
line
returning
scrimmage.
experience. This is a team that played in the state playoffs a year ago. So the Wildcats right now, Wildcats would love to do something, put up some points, anything to like, we're playing for pride right now. 2:37, don't let them in the end zone. Let's try to get it back. See what we can do. Maybe turn Cyrus loose a little bit. I'm not sure what the real limitation here is. I think this is a different game with Drayden. I think that, like, Porter is hard to overcome. He is so skilled, so experienced. Drayden presents a similar matchup issue that we've seen at times with the bigger-bodied wide receivers. Guys like, you don't want to necessarily, this is a real bold comparison here, but guys like Calvin Johnson, guys like, I want to say, Will Fuller from Notre Dame a few years ago, these big hulking wide receivers. Drayden's not hulking, but he knows exactly how to get to the sticks, and when you put that ball where he has to kind of stretch and get it, there's not many people who can stop that. Cyrus can throw the ball there. The problem is right now his receivers, they're not these long freak athletes that Drayden is, And this is where Drayden being the only one of the Wildcats' top 5 receivers from a year ago to be back is really, really hurting the Cats. Third and 3 here for the Bears.
What I've liked is that there have been some adjustments made by Kellogg defensively, especially in the backfield. And
Yeah.
we're getting a little bit of pressure. We're sending some
Uh-oh.
that guy's open, but too long.
And that's where, oh boy,
And here's the deal.
we've got some extracurricular.
So we had somebody deep on that pass, you know, and that's the difference. That's the difference that I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
They are making adjustments, and they are
They're making them work for it.
attempting not to be beaten deep. And they've taken away those slants.
No, that's not going to help at all.
Here's the replay.
We're going to get an unsportsmanlike conduct
I don't
penalty.
know how they get it on Kellogg on that, but
Let's check the replay out here. Unsportsmanlike conduct penalty. And this is way, way from the play. We've got 3 linemen and, one Kellogg guy in the middle. And I'm not entirely sure what the call is. Tim Kimberling and Paul Manzardo are having a meeting right here. And our favorite sideline judge is right there in the thick of it. But Tim is absolutely right to be frustrated there because I don't see it. I didn't see what led to it, but Wildcats giving up a free one there when it would have been 4th and 3. That's a devastating one. We're just over 2 minutes left to play here. Moscow with a 1st and 10 from the 15-yard line.
You just can't get caught up in that stuff.
Yeah.
And I know you'll say, well, you're up in the booth. It's easy to say that, but a discipline has to be maintained on the field.
Self-inflicted wounds. Wildcats have had a few of them. Moscow's given the Wildcats some chances too. Cross with a deep one. Oh, well played there. And poor Andrew Lewis, all 5'6" of him, 5'5" of them, jumped up to make a play there. So tough.
I think he tipped
It
it.
felt like it should have been a pick. I don't know that
He tipped it.
did he get a hand on it there?
Yeah.
You got better eyes than I do, Pete. I didn't see the tip. I saw a good contest though.
Like the kid would have caught it if he hadn't have tipped it.
So we got 2nd and 10 now.
See, they're taking away some of that stuff. So yeah, if they're going to throw the ball and incomplete, and you get them in a shovel pass again.
Oh, there's that. That is a tough play to defend, and the Wildcats not being able to tackle is just making this real hard, and that's a touchdown. Signal came in late. And this is, we saw this ran really well this past Sunday. I don't know how much NFL football you watch, but Jalen Hurts and the Philadelphia Eagles ran 2 really interesting shovel passes there to their tight end, who basically the same thing, and it turned into like a tight end dive after the catch. But they are hard to defend at every level.
But they don't pass enough.
So that's going to get in and go for 2 there.
The receiver saying he doesn't get enough targets.
So the Wildcats find themselves down 38-0 here. 2 minutes left, 1:52 left in the second quarter. Tough break for the Wildcats right now. And again, we talk about it, beat the dead horse. You just have to feel like this would be a different game if the Wildcats came into this game whole. There's a lot that we could say about some stuff. If the Wildcats were, and I'm talking full strength, I'm talking the team that finished the season last year and was a game out of the playoffs. I am. That's the team I'm talking about. The team that had Porter, Drayden, Radley, all of these guys, Ty Cheney, Evan Vendacious. And I know you got to play with what you got. But that group of kids, along with the Luke Littles and the more evolved Pokemon version of AJ Peak, who is just a man among boys with his physique, that's a team that I think stacks up a lot differently to this Moscow team, to the St. Mary's team. And it would feel different. The only team that I feel that we've watched that's been like this clear-cut, like talented on both sides of the ball, like I don't see this Moscow team putting up much fight against Bonners Ferry. Bonners Ferry is good. You know, I got to see them live and in 4K last week, man. They are good, and they are fast. You don't see a ton of athletes like that, and Bonners has had a pretty good run of solid athletes the last few years. But the Wildcats right now, we've just got a really young, really inexperienced squad, and we're going to get another personal foul here on the Wildcats on the kickoff. So that's going to back them up another 15 from where that ended. And like we said, a precedent was set with the flags in the first quarter here. That flag came in from the other side, I thought.
Yeah,
So, you know, when you start looking at the amount of flags that have been put into the game, you always talk, basketball coaches talk like this. The second a referee throws a charge into a game, an offensive foul, a technical, you now have to be on your best behavior because that means they're ready to do it again. They're ready to keep calling that. So the second you start drawing these personal fouls, these unsportsmanlike conducts, these little chippy things, they're going to happen more and more. They're looking for them now. You're not going to get away with that little extracurricular shove. Kind of a rainbow ball there, incomplete for the Wildcats. It looks like that was intended for Scribner. I think that was Chase Scribner, the intended receiver. But you talk about it, I mean, to open this drive up, because that was a 15-yard penalty, so that return was out to the, looks like the 29-yard line. So that backed him up 15. You talk about the unsportsmanlike conduct on the last drive that turned a potential 4th and 3 into a 1st and 10. Like, the Wildcats are just, they're hurting themselves. Here's another handoff to White. White's going to break a big one there.
Good cut back. Like to see that.
And it's the end of these plays where we have like 2-3 linemen all tangled up, still playing after the whistle. And I really just feel like someone has to get a hold of it because it's apparent that the flags aren't working. And if you're gonna let this game get out of control eventually.
Isn't it ironic that one of the things that I said pregame was that the offensive line stayed with their blocks. And so you're having this activity, and it stems from them staying on their blocks.
Yeah. They're not losing contact.
It's ironic.
Let's watch the line here. 3rd and 2 here for these Wildcats. Pitch to the outside. Oh, Talon White tried to turn it up. I think he got enough for the first, though. Wildcats need to get on the ball, like a little expedited, you know. Are we going to get a timeout here, or are we waiting for the chains to reset?
I think they were waiting.
Yeah.
Because the clock was running before that.
So now the clock is live. We got to get on the ball. We are not hurrying up.
No,
we are letting
we're not.
Precious seconds tick off. 1st and 10 here. Wildcats got to go. Cyrus going to go deep. Has a man. Oh, Grasscamp made a great play there. And incomplete. I like the shot. I think I would have liked to see that inside guy maybe take his man out of the play, go to the middle there. We had 2 guys kind of coming to the same point right there on that pass where it's awfully hard to make a completion over the top like that when you're bringing another defender into the mix.
Corner blitz. Throw it.
Reed evades one. We're going to get a flag, and we're going to get grounding. I don't know. He's calling that incomplete. I don't
He was
know.
out of the box.
Interesting. I don't know. We got a replay there. I don't think. Maybe? I don't. Okay, yeah, out of the box. But did it get back to the line of scrimmage? Oh, yeah, it did. Okay.
That's the best non-call that guy has made.
What do we got for a – oh, we've got a hold.
We still have a hold.
We still have a hold on the play, so it's going to back him up anyway. And the Wildcats just going to – I don't know why the clock is running. That's an incomplete pass. So we're going to go to the half. Wildcats down 38-0. I'm not sure why the clock was running there. I'm not necessarily complaining about it, but interesting situation there. So Wildcats down 38-0. We've got a long halftime here. We're going to take a few breaks. We're going to hear from our sponsors. We're going to try to give you as much coverage of the action on the field as possible of our homecoming ceremony. You're going to hear from the Kellogg High School Pep Band, which is an award-winning pep band from places like the Lionel Hampton Jazz Festival and different things like that. This is a band that is very skilled, and they're going to be playing a tribute to the late, great,
The Prince of Darkness.
the Prince of Darkness, Ozzy Osbourne. So we're going to go to the field mic here. We'll be back after a word from our sponsors in this halftime show. Thanks for watching Wildcats Live.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Kellogg High School Homecoming Halftime Show for 2025. After an amazing homecoming week, we are excited to introduce our band, our ROTC members, our senior cheerleaders, and homecoming royalty nominees to perform this traditional halftime show. We would like to give a big, huge thank you to the KHS Student Council for making this homecoming week possible for everyone, and acknowledge the students and spectators for being here today and all week to make each event we have done possible. Tonight's ceremonies and football game culminate a week of fun-filled activities at KHS that include each class-decorated hallways at the high school, freshman night in Rio, sophomores SpongeBob, juniors Jurassic Park, and seniors out of this world. The whole week full of spirit dress-up days, a drive-in movie on Monday night, Jake Pink volleyball against Wallace on Tuesday, Powder Puff boys volleyball games on Thursday, and after tonight's game we will have an annual bonfire at the high school candidates from the senior class of 2025 to represent each of the 4 classes at KHS. From these candidates, the students of KHS have voted to select tonight's homecoming team and queen. And now please welcome members of the Junior ROTC program to present the sword arch. Evan Knight, Joni Knight, Grady Milan, Alexis Backman, Piper Hendricks, Gage Pierce, and Alex Cassidy. Representing the freshman class, please welcome Miss Josie Reed and Mr. Graydon Taylor. Representing the sophomore class, please welcome Miss Danny Hendrickson and Mr. A.J. Peake. Representing the junior class, please welcome Miss Audrey Hart and Mr. Dave Scribbler. Representing the senior class, please welcome Miss Caroline Wildcat and Mr. Grant Collins. Crowning tonight's royalty will be senior members of the KHS cheerleading squad. Please welcome Lily Buick and Caitlin Flynn. And now, the moment you have all been waiting for. A warm round of applause, if you would, for the 2 candidates selected to our 2025 Kellogg High School Homecoming King and Queen. The 2025 Homecoming King is Vance Evans. And the 2025 Homecoming Queen is Miss Coraline Wildcat. Please join me in one final round of applause for this year's homecoming royalty, the KHS band and the cheerleaders. Congratulations again to Queen Vance Evans and Queen Coraline Wildcat. Putting on homecoming week picked together, a special thanks to the KHS leadership class who runs every event during the week, and a shout out to all of the contributors to the special week. This includes the homecoming halftime ceremony. 5717-338. 5717-338. Once again, the number is 5717-338. The pot is $751. Last call. 5717-338. Okay, we'll draw the ticket. The new number is 5717-465. 5717-465.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Josh McDonald here alongside Pete Miller. Coming out of halftime, where your homecoming ceremony just happened. For those of you guys who didn't watch it live, seniors Vance Evans and Miss Coraline Watcott, the younger sister of former Wildcat standout Reed Watcott, were named homecoming king and queen. The other nominees were Drayden Taylor, Andrew Lewis, and Chase Scribner. And the queen nominees were Josie Reed, Danny Henriksen, and I'm so sorry. The name is evading me on the last princess. So I'm going to take a look and see what I can get there. Audrey Hart on the kickoff here, getting a decent return. Grasscamp's going to slide.
Okay.
And we've got a flag.
Another flag. Hey,
Coming in from the...
right off the bat, what I noticed on the kickoff, I don't know if you noticed before how the guys received the balls. They would run to the outside, away from where the blockers were. Well, Grasscamp came right up the middle.
Right up the gut, and then took a slide there.
Yeah.
Waiting to see what this call is. It came in after the play was over. We've got 2 flags on the ground, actually. We've got one here in the center field, basically, and we've got one back by the ball. Wondering if these are offsetting and it would just, let it lie, but waiting here to see what we get. So we've got personal foul. Oh, no, that might be holding. Sorry. Oh, targeting. It's crazy to me that there's a world where holding and targeting offset one another. One of them seems a far more egregious, but hey, we'll take the no loss. I believe the targeting penalty was after Grasscamp slid. The Moscow player came in and just drilled him. So
I did not realize that
Got some chat.
they were offset.
Who's Row Your Boat 24? I don't know.
high snap there. Looks like an option play. Cyrus didn't look like he... Oh, we got a flag. How much you want to bet this one gets declined? And I'm not sure who row your boat is. No, we didn't miss the point. We were just pointing out something that's kind of a fun little tidbit here,
Well, we're 3A.
where we are 3A, not 2A. They're a 5A who's petitioned down to 4A. So, who scheduled this for homecoming? I don't know. I bet if you looked up who the Kellogg School District athletic director is, you probably figured that one out for yourself. But that being said, yeah, I'm not sure on the thought process there. Maybe at full strength, like we talked about, maybe this is a team that contends and competes a little bit. That's my thought process. They weren't predicting that the Wildcats were going to be playing a bunch of second stringers against a 5A that's petitioned down to a 4A. Good pitch out to Talon White, and I don't know if he rolled his ankle. He slid a little bit there, but he's going to lose a yard maybe. I don't know if he got back to the line of scrimmage.
What was that?
So Wildcats are not going to get back in this game with conservative play calling. At this point, you're at that point in the fight where, like, if you're the guy on the ground getting punched over and over, you're just going to start throwing wild ones, right? Like, I would rather see that than us go, you know what, we're just going to pitch it. We're just going to, there's a nice throw out. Oh, under through Grasscamp. And that's one where Grasscamp needs to be led. That throw needs to be high and over the middle where Grasscamp can use his speed to go get it as opposed to trying to throw it behind him.
I know, but here I know, Josh, but he was in the crease where he needed to be.
Yeah.
The ball just... But I agree, the ball
right.
wasn't placed where he wanted.
Right.
But it was a good pattern. He was right. He was
Yeah,
open.
Cyrus read it right. He
Yeah.
was just not the throw that we needed there. Yeah. So we're going to punt here on 4th and 20. High snap. Lewis going to get a punt. He's kicking with his left foot, too. I guess I did not realize, I don't know where that one went out. I'm going to...
That's
Where?
number 4.
Where are we
Moscow.
spotting the ball? I saw the ball go out of bounds, but I saw an official run down to like the 40-yard line. I don't know. Could be a mystery.
There's a flag on the field as well.
You don't say. Another personal foul. We've got to be getting close to the point where we might have some player ejections
They're
because you're only
offside.
allowed 2 of them in a game. But Wildcats not doing themselves any favors. I guess at the end of the day, this is a keep your nose clean kind of situation. I'm not sure on the ejection rules what it means for future games, but the Wildcats can't afford to lose anybody else going into next week's game against Anaconda or for the rest of the season.
There's no JVs to pull up.
Yeah, we are. This is it. This is your Wildcat team. Oh, right there. Opportunity missed. And it's a sprint. It's a foot race down to the end zone. Talon White not able to get the tackle there. And number 80 for the Wildcats had a shot to finish that playoff. I'm not sure who number 80 is. I don't think I have an 80 on my program. I have an 83, an 84, I have a 31, and a 61. So number 80 for the Wildcats there, unable to make a play. And this is a story of kind of the Wildcats' losses. Their losses have been because they can't tackle. And, you know, this one, when you don't tackle and you just keep putting yourself in tough spots, like, you know, there's never been a football team that's had success being unable to score and unable to play defense. You got to be able to do one or the other, preferably both. But if you can't do at least one of those things, you're going to be in a tough spot. And even when these Wildcats were healthy, defense was an issue. We've seen it in outside of the Orofino game, which, you know, hats off to Orofino for continuing to put a team together, continuing to come out and compete. It's not exactly you know, it might have been a CIL win, and we'll take any league win we can get, right? But it wasn't like we were beating the world that day. Now, the team that beat Timberlake a couple weeks later, that was a team that was pretty gutsy. You know, when you come out, like, we hadn't beaten Timberlake in like 8 years. And I think last year, we got beat like 36-8 or something like that.
Overtime?
And it was in overtime, that game a few weeks ago,
Yeah.
where the defense showed up in a big way. Inside, in that overtime period, you know, Drayden
Well,
Taylor,
whatever it was, Josh, I watched the game, and they compete. You could tell
Yeah.
that they were competitive on the field, and that it was going back both ways.
Yeah.
It was going both ways. It was a fun game. I don't know if that was physical, mental, emotional, or what, but they were very competitive with Timberlake.
Yeah, and a couple times they got down by 2 scores, and they didn't let it break them. And you know, this could have easily, I don't want to say easily, that's unfair. This could have been a similar setup, I think, at full strength. I also don't think that the group we have on the field right now is 45 points worse than this team. I think we've had some miscues. I think we haven't finished. Like, when you talk about missed tackles, that's not a skill situation. That is there's obviously some holes in our preparation because we are not finishing tackles. We are in position to make tackles, and we are not finishing them. And Cyrus Reed gets sacked there. And that's really it. You know, we talk about this. You've got to finish tackles. And when you're not doing that, but you're in a position to do it, like, it'd be different if these guys just weren't in position, you know.
And Josh, let's take this a step further for everybody listening. What are you talking about when you say finishing tackles?
I mean, you get hands on a guy, you don't let go. You don't let go. You bring him down. Your breakdowns need to be proper. You need to get your proper, like, don't bite on head fakes. They're not going anywhere with the ball. You square up to a guy, you get your hands on him, you wrap up. Yeah, it's just like a closeout in basketball. You got Simon in here. He's talking to us. He doesn't have a mic on, but, you know, he can't help himself. He wants to be in the conversation.
So
but
what I would say, I totally agree with you. Finishing a tackle, I mean, you keep your feet moving, you wrap up, and you go
through the guy.
Through the guy. But okay, you have to admit when you're going up against a team that's bigger, stronger, faster,
Mm-hmm.
you've got to get more. You've got to get more helmets on the ball.
Yep, absolutely.
So one guy, you've got to get three, and instead of one. So I totally agree with you, but there
is a skill component here. You're 100% right. Oh, ooh, right there. And here's something to outside of that little pass in the flat. I don't know that we've completed a pass. That might be something worth noting. And I'm not putting this on Cyrus right now. He's been put into a tough spot. He's sophomore quarterback, starting his first game is. His first game is a homecoming game against a school that's 2 classifications bigger than him. And I know that no one is going to feel worse and treat themselves worse about this game than he is. I know that because I've coached the kid. A little bouncing punt here. Uh-oh. And right there, I mean, that's just another example. Wildcats got down there, and then they're just not a good breakdown. They don't break down on it's tough. Uh-oh.
Because Porter is so much more used to it.
Yeah, and Simon is just saying that he's impressed.
It's a tall ask for Cyrus.
Yeah, he's impressed with Cyrus
Absolutely.
and his effort tonight and the responsibility that he has.
And
When
that's
you
a
have
credit to Porter too.
When you look at
And it
the
reflects-
guys that
it
you
reflects
have
on Porter.
in situations like this, when you look at all levels of football and you go, okay, we got to go into this one with a backup quarterback, you usually see your running back, your top receiver go, hey, let's make this as easy for this guy as possible.
And
Well,
you're playing color.
we've flexed our starting running back out to receiver, where he is not the biggest guy. He is vertically challenged. We have our second string running back in the backfield. Talon's, I thought, played great.
Yep.
Minus the missing the catch on that opening option. I thought Talon's been good. Drayden not being in there takes away that I have a safety valve. At the end of the day, if I throw the ball to this guy 20 times, I bet he's catching 12 to 13 of them. You take that away, and now you're out there with it. Preston Grasscamp has been a great addition to the Wildcat team this year. This is his first year playing football. He didn't play in high school. The last time he played was in middle school. Chase Scribner, all heart. I don't know if you've seen him, though. He's about 5'11" and 140 pounds. He plays like a 200-pounder on defense, but on offense, there's only so much you can do, He's a guy that requires another guy to take the top off for him. He'll run routes that get Drayden open. Drayden runs routes that takes 2 defenders away, and suddenly Preston and Chase are wide open. We're putting, and we'll compliment another guy, Owen Roach. He's a junior. He decided to play football last year on a whim because he wanted to be with his buddies. So he played. He has now started receiver and DB for this team. And the kid's 100 pounds of heart in a 40-pound body. He's that. But that 100 pounds of heart can't catch a football. You're putting him in a tough spot. So we did not put Cyrus in a spot to necessarily have this, he's not coming out being Tua Tagovailoa in the national championship game, And so it's a shame that the Wildcats find themselves down like this, but these are valuable lessons. 2 years from now, Cyrus is probably your starting quarterback.
Well,
You're going to look back on this and go, whew, I don't know that I want to ever be in that position again. Wildcats, tackle right there, just short of the line to gain.
Well, Simon and I had communicated during the week regarding last week's game, and my question was, right, Simon, was what was learned or what could be learned from that? You've got to learn. They've got to learn something from this.
And adjust.
But okay, and opening the second half, I commented on how the adjustment was made in the defense. I think they're coaching them. You can't coach speed. I mean,
No.
You either got speed, or you don't have speed. You can't coach size. You can't change a guy's size.
On the quarterback keep there, takes it in for a score. And
So
you're absolutely right. You can't. There are the intangibles that you can't coach.
yeah.
But I do think that when you're coming, I mean, it was no secret Saturday morning, 6 days ago, that this was going to be what the team looked like. They knew how many guys were not going to be eligible for this game. What I'm saying, and what I think is something important to discuss, is knowing that you're a team that's undersized, under speed. Your skill players are hurt, banged up. Just for the sake of, one, making it easy on your second stringers, and two, figuring out a situation where you're going to put your best players in a position to succeed when they come back. It seems like on the offensive side of things, some sort of power style football. And you know what? You can throw holy water on me. You can turn the sun on. Like, I will burst into flames. You're hearing me say that I would rather see the Wildcats playing power football than lining up 4 or 5 linemen down, spread out. It's not feasible with the current group that we have.
Josh, this isn't a holy water situation. This is that's a common
Maturation.
sense approach after you have been depleted. And you have this is what it is.
You're seeing the maturation of Josh as the
Josh
analyst.
is an Irish fan who is going, give me Kevin McDougall and Jerome Bettis and Mark Brooks.
Watching
I'm supposed to be running the camera.
it's okay.
And
You didn't miss anything. You might have seen a little scuffle right about
you
the
are complimenting the Kellogg players
35-yard
very
line.
well. And
Well,
they
I'd
should
like-
be.
I-
They should be. They're tough kids.
This is what I love to hear. This is because I'm not here I don't get to be here in town during 2-a-days.
It's not 2-a-days anymore. It's 1 3-hour practice. 2-a-days are inhumane. They're not allowed. That's a rule. Yeah. Hey, don't shoot the messenger. Don't.
Let's light the chat up now.
What is wrong
Oh
with
boy! And
What's wrong with people?
Wouldn't you know it? We're gonna back the Wildcats up here.
What is wrong with people? Well, okay, I'm sorry.
And in the I will acquiesce, as we've learned about the health of brains and heads.
Oh, yeah, for
We
sure.
know that putting them in the sun for 4 hours and them getting knocked around, not a good thing. So what do you do?
Get us some Guardian caps.
Yeah. You know what? If someone wanted to do the Kellogg football program a major favor and let's sponsor some Guardian caps, let's get like 12 of them.
Yeah.
Because I think at the end of the day, that's also a symptom of when you see these low numbers. I just have, and I talked to one of the linemen today before the game. He's a sophomore. I'm not going to name him because I'm not going to put him on the hot seat like that. But he told me that right now they don't do a ton of live hitting because they are in a spot where physically, one, what does that do for some of these younger guys when they get munched by a bigger guy? Oh my gosh, what do we have? Some extracurricular here. And it looks, is that AJ or Luke? His helmet gets ripped off. And we're going to, so here's a block.
Good
Watch
block
on the
right
back
there.
end. Watch on the back end.
Yeah,
So, and it keeps going, and we're going to get a personal foul on the Wildcats. They're offsetting. So nothing on the play. And my goodness gracious.
Josh, you're a dad of an injured player, so you have a good perspective of that.
Yeah, no, it's tough. It's tough to like have the conversation with him afterwards, where he, for all intents and purposes, Radley is I guess the right term would be he's a beautiful mind when it comes to football. He's a very smart, high IQ guy. He knows how to read defenses. He knows how to diagnose defenses and figure out how to make the most of these situations. And when he's sitting here talking about how, in the situation that we're in, we're just not built to play the style that we want to play. He was even open that if he was healthy, the style of play that they want to play, as good as it would be for him, it wouldn't be the key to success. Yeah, Radley wants to catch the ball at 5 yards because he can make 2-3 guys miss and go 60, 70 yards. We saw it. But what does that look like in the grand scheme of things? You know, a lot of times Porter is taking lumps waiting for these guys to get open. And that's why he's not playing in this game. That's why we are with our backup quarterback. So,
I
like that.
Hey,
That's
I want to
good.
throw out a term that isn't used very often anymore. What about sprint out? What about sprinting out? You know, because they have
oh, that's just a bad throw right there.
Yeah.
Cyrus,
Give me that.
he's got to get out. Look at him. This is where the sophomore side, you need your older guys to go pick him up and tell him he's fine. You know, because at the end of the day, this is a game that doesn't matter in the grand scheme. Would it help to win this game? 100%. Everyone wants to win. Nobody wants to lose a game, but the 2 games that matter are the 2 games that end the season.
Yes.
So, and someone also, a senior needs to go over and tell him that he's fine. Someone needs to tell him he's fine. The hands are in the face. Someone needs to go tell him, hey, that was a bad throw. Hey, you'll get the next one.
We'll get you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Wildcats with some personnel issues here on their
Culture thing.
punt situation. Lewis is,
Lewis getting his work out there.
yeah,
Left
great punt. Excellent punt, Andrew Lewis. And Preston Grasscamp there trying to make a play. Talon White
Come on.
can't hold on. Oh, there we go.
yes.
There we go.
That guy-
Talon with the effort play, finishing
Guy's
him
having
off.
A great game.
And that's right there. You know, we talk about
His grandpa'd be proud.
Preston running that one out. Preston, this is where inexperience comes in. When you are on the kickoff or the punt team, when you run down there like that, if they haven't touched the ball, you need to slow down. You need to start breaking down because they haven't touched the ball yet. Because if you come at them at a full speed and they just move their hips a little bit and pick it up, you're in a world of trouble. You want to get down there on the ball. And we're going to get another flag on the play.
Nice
Fumble. Ball's on the ground. Wildcats could really use a turnover here.
That's a good tackle.
And this is-
Was it Talon that got the tackle?
Starting to feel, holding on the offense. So they're going to back up a few yards here. Down the road, the Wallace Miners are in a absolute battle. It's 22-18 Genesee. They're in the fourth quarter. Not sure how much time is left, but it is a banger of a game between 2 of the best 1A teams in the state. That one is being streamed live by our friends at idahosports.com. So if you're a Silver Valley football fan, you got 2 screens. Take your phone over to idahosports.com, leave the Wildcats live broadcast on if you want to keep hearing me and Pete. A little bit of Simon. Little handoff there. Looks like Andrew Lewis on the tackle. Just at this point, you kind of got to wait and hope that when they run through you, that you hang on. This Moscow team runs the ball very physically. When they see somebody as an obstacle, it is not a go around. They definitely go through. Which is a testament to the style of play that Coach Baffis has instilled in these guys. Shout out, and there's a few, the Kellogg ties are everywhere. One of the big components to this Moscow turnaround, Coach Baffis done a great job getting them to the playoffs. But Kellogg graduate, I think it's 2009, Travis Seltenwright, is down there, and he regularly works with these Moscow athletes in the gym. He's a power lifter, so he has been working with these guys for years, getting them strong, and you can see it. This is not a weak football team, and I think there is a little measure of some of these younger guys are paying for the crimes of some of the previous teams, where we had really, really talented teams that other teams couldn't compete with. And now that we don't necessarily have 2 Division I athletes playing on our squad, they're letting us know. They're reminding us that we are still the smaller school, and that is a frustrating situation to find ourselves in,
Well,
because it does feel a little personal at times.
well, they okay. Look at it this way too. They just got their butts beat last week, and they're coming here, and they're letting it go.
Yeah.
Also, they have 3 seniors, a junior, and a sophomore on their offensive line, which averages well over 200 pounds.
Yeah, it's a good
I mean,
line.
they got a 265 and a 240, and so
They're a tough
you have-
team.
Yeah, you have to look at that, but
Like I said, I still think, just from what I'm seeing here, there's a missed tackle by the Wildcats en route for a score. And just so you guys are aware, all things are trending towards, unless the Wildcats score, depending on the outcome of this PAT situation here, we are going to have a shortened fourth quarter with the running clock. So the fourth quarter is going to cook by.
What's the Wallace score?
But in the Wallace game, it's still 22-18. Looking to see, I think it's Genesee ball. I'm not sure on the time right now, but
they're missing the scoreboard.
we got. Yeah, they don't have a score bug with the clock in it, so
Wonder why that is.
probably need to get on our level.
Maybe.
But Genesee is in a goal-to-go situation, second down, and they are taking a knee, so they must be in victory formation. So if that's how it ends, it looks like that is it. Genesee going to hand Wallace their first loss of the season, 22-18.
Wow, that's low scoring for 8.
Yeah, it's a low-scoring game. That's a great game for both teams. I think there's some positives there with the Miners, who many people thought maybe they didn't necessarily belong among the ranks of the good 8-man teams. You play the number 4 team in the state to a 4-point ball game, you're probably right there. You're probably among the top teams in the division. So disappointing to get your first loss if you are a Wallace Miner, but the future is still bright. The path to the postseason is clear. Win your league and you are in the playoffs, and then it's all about the old max preps rankings, which, I mean, we got time. We could talk about that. I don't really want to talk about that. But situation we find ourselves in where our state playoffs are now seeded according to a power ranking that is eerily reminiscent of the BCS, which I don't know how many people loved it. So after the penalty here, we're going to try a deep field goal, and I think that was good. My goodness gracious. That's a great kick right there. It's a good kick. He may not be a show pony, but that was a good kick. What are we're kicking that? That's a 35-yard field goal right there. So hats off to the kicker. I believe that's Stott. Stott is a bit of a Swiss Army knife for this Bear squad. We saw him run over a guy earlier on a weird little misdirection. Part of that.
Majestic show pony versus Swiss Army knife.
Yeah,
I think I'm going with
the Majestic.
Swiss Army knife.
No, I'm going to go show pony, man. That dude was booting it from like 40, 45. Like he's setting the ball on the 40-yard line and kicking 50-yarders in the warm-up, and I'm sitting here thinking, gosh, these guys could just get inside the 50, and, you know, Coach Dan Lucier at the time, coaching Frenchtown, he could just kick field goals, and that would have been just as entertaining as the game that we got. But it'd be cool if, I mean, the Wildcats have a foreign exchange student who is quite the kicker himself. He hit, I think, 6 extra points in that game against Timberlake. On the return here, the Wildcats going to get out to about the 31-yard line. I'm waiting for the flag. Nothing. We're still good. Well, good news, no flag.
Wow.
Looking down the line here, trying to see if there's been any interesting substitutions or player changes that we're not aware of. Looks like nothing there. So despite all the personal foul calls, we haven't had any ejections either yet. So I guess we'll take the wins where we can get them. But this Lawrence Hoffbauer, foreign exchange student, I'm not sure, but I would go out on a limb and say probably German. Absolutely drill kicks. Soccer-style kicker.
Brilliant.
Soccer-style kicker. Love to see him get a shot to, maybe boot one. Wildcats send a man in motion here. And I just don't know on the comeback. There's just a little bit of flat-footedness. This really does feel like the Wildcats have, the proverbial white flag may have been waved. They're not running routes with the same intensity, but at the same time, these are the same 11, 12 guys that have been on the field the whole game. So it's a tough break. Your legs got to be cooked right now. You got to be feeling a lot of this. And it's really hard to go out and try and make a play on offense when you just couldn't make a play on defense, or vice versa. You stack up 3/4 worth of that, and it's going to be awfully hard to compete. But like to see the Wildcats, try something here. We got a fumble on the play. Was it recovered by the Bears? Waiting for this call here. It looks like Wildcats retained possession. Are you sure about that? Was that a 4th down? No, I don't think we got that. That looks like the possession has flipped to the Bears. So
I thought he dropped. That was Talon. I thought he dropped right on it.
yeah, it looks like he might have missed it. So Wildcats, at the end of the day, you got to take care of the ball. You said that. That was yours and my discussion as we walked into the Crow's Nest here today. Ball security is tantamount for this game to be competitive. The Wildcats have not done that. And when you're already in a spot where you are a little outgunned, you can't give them extra opportunities. Great penetration there by the Wildcats. They just don't make the tackle. Tough situation there. We'll watch the replay. Check this out. You're going to see 3 guys in purple uniforms in the backfield. 1, 2, yeah, right. Maybe 2. Okay. Right there.
Yeah, it just wound it back. They blocked down and punched and blocked out on the backside, and
inside carry. It looks like
it's a lineman.
Yeah. You had a big man touchdown there. So score 59-0. Clock ticks under 3. We're going to see probably another PAT attempt from Stott. And it is good. Score stands 66-0. We are at the point where, and we're at the point in the game where the Wildcats would probably start rotating some guys in, but I think the problem is we started the game at that point. We started the game at the point where the guys were already rotated in. So Wildcats, I think it's safe to say they're going to fall to 2-3 here. They're going to go up against a really tough school, a team from Anaconda next week that's playing really, really good football lately after a couple bad seasons. And, it's always good to see a team go through the steps of the rebuild process. Take a look here at their the Anaconda Copperheads. Right now they're 3-2. They're 2-1 in their division. Looking at their schedule here, lost a tough one to Manhattan to open the season, and then they rattled off 3 wins. Thompson Falls, FAHS, it's a co-op, I'm not sure where that is, and then LSHHS. They got some wild names over there. wild names in the Montana. Loyola Sacred Heart. They're out there playing like a Catholic school schedule or something.
They are a Catholic
I think
school.
Is it-
Loyola Sacred Heart won basketball state championship the last 2 years.
Oh, wow. Okay. Good to know.
Jeff Kendrick's kids on that team right now.
Oh, okay. Was that the student that was on Stevensville a couple years ago? Or is that a
No,
different?
that was Sheldon's daughter.
Sheldon's daughter. Yeah, that's right. So, the Wildcats get a tough test next week against the Anaconda team that they're playing Huntley Project tonight. So, they could either be 3-3 or 4-2 going into next week's game. Real question is going to be, what do the Wildcats look like? Are they going to have some healthy players, or are they going to be down guys again? And then after that, that's when they go into their league schedule, their end-of-league schedule. And they take on, I want to say it's Priest River and then Grangeville. I could be wrong about that order. But neither one of those are going to be slouches. Both at home, though. Both games were losses on the road last year. Both teams, Grangeville and Priest River, both made it to the playoffs. So the Wildcats in a spot where it's the season's not over. They got time. There's opportunity. It's just a matter of they got to get healthy. They got to get their schemes figured out. They got to learn how to finish a dang tackle. And you do that, you might be able to put together some winning football over the last 3 weeks of this season. In other news, the Kellogg Wildcats volleyball team right now is among the state's elite at the 3A level. They're clocking in right now with I believe an 18-1 record, 19-1. So power ranked number 3 in the state under Coach Holly Regina, who has done just a masterful job with
awesome.
the group of girls that they have. Our cross country team yesterday won their home meet at Pinehurst Golf Course. Right now, Shadrach Cresswell is like the number 3 runner in the district, and the boys cross country team looks like they're about to win a back-to-back cross country district championships. So there's a lot of positive in the athletics world for Kellogg right now. Boys and girls basketball both look like they're going to have pretty solid seasons, barring that none of them sustain any sort of bad football injuries. So, high snap. Still gets the punt off. Wildcats there we go. Down it there. A little bit of a breakdown.
A nice sideways bounce that
Gotta-
disabled the.
Are we holding on the gunner maybe? I don't know. Take a look at the call here. It's either a personal foul or holding. Those are the only 2 calls they know how to make. Waiting for the call here. Personal foul on the Bears. That's going to back them up. So good news there for the Wildcats. They're going to get backed up here. 55 seconds left in this third quarter, which has felt like it's taken an eternity. This has been a very long third quarter. We're pushing 9:20 p.m. right now, Pete.
Long.
It's been a long third quarter.
You know, coming into the second half, I really felt that the offensive line had done a pretty fair job.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that the reason that they were able to do that was they weren't passing as much and they were running more. And
What is that sound?
So I mean, I saw some positives coming into the second half. This is, this is discouraging for everybody. But I think you have to get some positives out of this. And
Yeah, these last few reps have to be about mental toughness, right? Like you're not gonna hit a home run that's gonna score you 66 points and get you back into this game, but that doesn't mean that you stop playing. Right there, that's great. That was fantastic right there. Who was that?
70.
Number 70. That's Aiden Flynn, who runs in and makes a great play. That's what we've been wanting to see all game. But as it stands right now, the Moscow Bears on top of the Wildcats 66-0 at the end of the third quarter. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to hear from some of our sponsors. We're going to be back with the final 12 minutes of play with the running clock. Thanks for watching Wildcats Live.
Thank you for.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Josh McDonald here alongside Pete Miller, Simon Miller on the camera, and sometimes chiming in from the shadows. You probably hear his muffled voice occasionally through the microphones. It sounds like an echo, but it's a wise echo. On the second down, or on the third down carry.
Hole nicely filled.
Yeah, the Wildcats they force a fourth down here. So to open the fourth quarter, they're going to get a 4th and 7. Maybe the punter from Moscow gets a little work. Looks like a unit change, so I'm assuming it's a punting change. We were getting a mass substitution. The offense just thought they were going to go for it. So we're going to get a punt here. Is this Stott as well? I wouldn't be surprised. We've got, good job there to check, make sure that the fake can't happen. Yep, and there it is. And Vasquez is going to get the first down.
I don't know if that fake is me.
So
Punt it away. It's not good. That's not good. Just punt it.
and in the land of the Max Preps world, we have also created this this chaotic sequence where it encourages coaches and teams to effectively run up the score because it looks better. The higher the number, the bigger the bigger the rating boost.
Well, if you're talking about Moscow, like I said, they just got thumped by Lakeland.
Yeah, Lakeland
So-
Lakeland got them a week ago.
They didn't even score, did they?
No,
So
no, and this is and that's the division that Moscow should be playing in.
Yeah.
That really talented group of teams, with Sandpoint and Lakeland, and it's a situation where they've petitioned down, but I think a lot of coaches have voiced concerns over the lack of clarity on how Max Preps necessarily works has put coaches in a spot where they feel like, well, in this situation, we don't really have a choice. We got to run it up. I don't necessarily agree with that. And unfortunately, that's Aiden Flynn again. Aiden Flynn,
Well,
he's doing what we've asked, what we've wanted to see all game. He's getting penetration. He's finishing plays. He's grabbing guys, wrapping them up, and just hanging on. And hats off to the senior for, in the midst of an ugly game, he's been a bright spot over the last couple series. But
Well, they got him coming off the edge. Just like that.
inside handoff, and again, that's Aiden Flynn. And we've got something going, and there's another flag. So the referees have put this in a spot where now they're not even allowing stuff to get taken care of. Like, they're not letting it end, they're just throwing flags. So we're getting another personal foul here. We're going to see who they give it to. I feel like you have to put this on. So personal foul on 45 on the Wildcats. I don't know how you call that on the Wildcat when he can't break off of the offensive player.
At least the clock.
This has been just an ugly affair. The score is pretty indicative of the situation, but if you are just joining us, there's been probably as many personal foul calls as there have been plays at this juncture. Aiden Flynn again. Aiden Flynn again, coming from the right side. Whoever is on that left side of the offensive line, if I was Coach Baffis, I'd be going, hey, what the heck's going on here? Because Aiden Flynn right now is working himself into my starting lineup.
Well,
He's doing.
they don't have anybody to block him right now. The running back should be on the left-hand side and pick up the D end. Aiden Flynn.
What are we waiting for here? There's an inside carry. Wildcats there. That's AJ Peak ripping at the ball, trying to do anything to get that ball out. Looks like a gain of about 1. And that's the risk you take when you run the ball out of the shotgun. It feels like you've just got 6 yards because you took the ball so far back. Great stand there by the Wildcats. Getting off the field here, or at least getting to switch to have the ball, because I don't think any of these guys would leave the field if we were to take over. Wildcats in. We're going to get a encroachment penalty here. It's going to move them up. Moving them up 5 yards. Going to be 3rd and 2. And line discipline is important. And that's something that we've seen, we're seeing successfully be instilled at the younger levels with our junior tackle program, the Mann brothers and Ryan Beggerly, and I'm forgetting names, Stetson Spooner, these guys coaching these little kids, teaching them line discipline. It's real easy to stay in a football game and stay competitive when you're not giving up the 5 yards on offsides or on false starts. And I think the Wildcats stopped him. I think we're going to get a 4th and 1 here. And we'll see what we get. If Stock comes out and boots one, or if it looks like they actually lost a yard on that play. So Wildcats need some ball discipline here. 5 minutes left in the game. Wildcats at this spot, this is where you got to have a little bit of a press. You can't necessarily play off of them in this setting. And right there, great penetration. It's going to be a turnover on downs. So great stand by the Wildcats, who've shown flashes. Shown flashes of defensive, some IQ and some solid defensive play. So now Cyrus Reed gets 4.5 minutes of a running clock to try and take the 0 off the board. Win the last 4.5 minutes here. You just got to stop. This is a team that has, I'm going to look at the roster. We're looking up and down. We got a sophomore quarterback. We have a junior running back. We have a fumble on the ground. And I believe the Bears recovered it. I hope it's not the case. Oh, okay. Wildcats got the ball. Second 11.
down.
This is a young group. We've got a lot of backup players in. I'm beating the dead horse.
He just didn't get the ball in his gut.
No.
But, when you look up and down at the guys we have in this game right now, we've got a lot of youth. A lot of guys that should be playing JV reps right now. Cyrus Reed going to complete one over the middle. I don't think it was received. I don't think it was possessed by Preston Grasscamp. And that's when you got to catch. Hits you in the hands, you got to catch the ball. And that's where Moscow's been really great tonight, where they might seed the 2-3 yard catch, but they're going to let you know about it. And if you're mentally tough enough to make the grab, you're going to get crunched. So Wildcats 3rd and 11 here. Stack receivers to both sides. Cyrus going to throw one deep.
He's open.
And Chase Scribner probably should have kept running there. He tried to jump, I think, a yard soon. So 4th and 11. Now let's see what the Wildcats elect to do. If they punt the ball and just try to flip the field, or we'll take a look. Clock continues to tick. We're at the 2-minute mark now. So looking ahead at what we have queued up for this week. And the Bears will take over at the 25-yard line. So real quick, looking at the Idaho volleyball schedule coming up for this week. If my memory serves, it feels like it should be a pretty busy week for volleyball. And like we said before, your Kellogg Wildcats are among the cream of the crop in terms of the volleyball ranks right now.
That is so good to hear.
Yep, they got Priest River on Tuesday and St. Mary's on Thursday, both at home.
That's the last two, I think.
So yeah, that's the last two before districts. Wildcats have already clinched at least a share of the Central Idaho League Championship. The only way they could lose the championship or lose the rights to host is if they lose the match to Priest River. But Priest River would have to sweep them the same way the Wildcats swept them. And then I think it goes to some sort of points. But the Wildcats in the driver's seat right now. A win over St. Mary's on Thursday gives them the outright league title. But Priest River is going to have to win. And then St. Mary's would have to help them out if the Wildcats were going to lose that league championship. So, 2 games coming up. 2 big matches for our volleyball girls. Final score, homecoming, 66-0. I have to believe it's going to be an awfully somber bonfire, guys. I'm going Simon with a one-liner here. We're going to keep an eye on the handshake line here. I just have to imagine that this one might be cayenne pepper spicy through the handshake line. But, yeah, the alma mater playing. We're going to go to our field mic real quick.
Tim's got some words there. Tim's pleading his case down there to their. It's awkward.
Yeah.
All right, we are back. The alma mater is over. Final score 66-0. Tough break for the purple and gold faithful, but the best thing about high school sports is there's always another season, there's always another game, right? There's always another game.
Speaking of game,
And
who is our player of the game?
oh, Aiden Flynn.
Yeah.
Aiden Flynn.
Flynn.
Aiden Flynn. We talked about needing to make tackles. I don't care if it was only in the fourth quarter. He came in, and when his number was called, he did exactly what was needed of him. Wanted to give it to, realistically, I wanted to, you know, Talon was one that I thought, but I think he fumbled the ball a little too much for my liking. And so there will be other opportunities for him to earn that opportunity. We've got 2 more home games, so 2 more Wildcats live player of the game for football. But yeah, there's more Wildcat sports on the way. Like I said, don't get your spirits down, because at the end of the day, we still have a really, really awesome volleyball team, and we've got a football team that's still in a position to potentially win the Central Idaho League. Let's hope they learn some lessons from this. Let's hope the next couple weeks of practice, the emphasis is on tackling. Let's hope that we get healthy. Let's hope that all of the things that the coaches are telling the kids can apply. And, yeah. So you'll hear from Simon and I on Tuesday and Thursday. We're going to have those pivotal Central Idaho League matchups. And, man, I cannot wait for that Tuesday one against Priest River. Simon and I watched that one when it was up there, and by golly, it was a grinder. You don't see many volleyball sweeps that feel like you hear sweep in volleyball and you just assume it wasn't competitive. That was not the case up there. So for Pete Miller, Simon Miller rocking the camera, I'm Josh McDonald. Thank you so much for listening. Have a great night. Thanks for watching Wildcats Live.